So originally, when Montessori opened her first classrooms, they were for children who were struggling. And she had all the beautiful materials that she was working on in closed, locked cupboards. The story goes, one day the cupboard was left open, and when the teacher got there, the children had helped themselves. And that was sort of an eye-opening moment that children can choose and find work that's meaningful if the adult backs off and lets that happen. So every day starts with all students at Bowman making a list of things they want to get done that day. Of course, the list, depending on their age, has some level of guidance from the teachers. At the very youngest, it might be do sensorial and then math and then language, and they just move around the room and they know I have to do one job in each area of the classroom, and it's not a written list. Once they become part of lower elementary, they do begin to write their list, and they know the daily jobs and then the extra jobs. And they make the list every day and they check it off. When they get to Upper L, they start stretching it. Can I plan for 2 weeks? Can I plan for a little bit longer? Upper L also has longer term projects, so they have to add that into their planner. And then by the time they get to middle school, which is 7th and 8th grade, they are planning for the entire unit, which is 8 weeks long. They also go through their family calendar to see if there's any time that they know they're not going to be at a lesson, or perhaps there's a little family long weekend planned or vacation. So they make notes of that. And then the student works ahead on the 8 weeks at a time. Why it's important is sort of a basic philosophy point, and that is when you own the work, when it is your work, then you are much more likely to accomplish it, rather than in more traditional setting where the teacher would give you worksheets, or the teacher would tell you at 10 o'clock on Tuesday you're going to do your math. It's a human tendency for an adult to get their hands in there, right? When you go through Montessori training, they actually teach you to put your hands behind your back and watch. We also really try hard to practice the art of giving a lesson with very few words. Adults by nature want to fill the silence with a lot of words. Parents do it all the time. Let's say a child's struggling to tie their shoe or struggling to manage all their things, trying to get their backpack on and hold their water bottle and put their sweater in their arm. A parent will begin to say, just put it here, just, shouting out directions like a coach on a soccer field. And if the parent could just stop and watch that moment, I haven't met a child who couldn't figure it out. It is feedback I hear from alumni parents, but also from the schools, the local high schools that they attend, that, if there is a club, they're a leader of the club. If a club is not available, they'll start a club. There's often a story I tell. One of our alumni went off to high school. She left her swimming gear or her gear in the locker room, and there was a sign posted that if you leave your stuff in the locker room overnight, it will be thrown away. And so she was on the train, and so she decided to call the vice principal, who seemed like a very scary person. All the other girls who were with her that day were like, oh, you can't call that person. She's really scary. And she called and she said, hi, this is me. I left my stuff by accident. Do you think it's possible for you to bring it up to your office? And the woman was more than happy to help. And all the kids her peers were really surprised that she took initiative, called an adult, asked for help, and the adult was willing to help. I think we just don't have those barriers in our school.